Hello and welcome back to the Just Preachy podcast. I'm your host Z Factor, and today is a little bit different of an episode because I am by myself. But today's a pretty good episode. I'm really excited for this one. So today we're talking about confidence and owning your land. So let's get into it. So when you are saved, you are now a missionary, which means you just got to share the gospel, got to go out to your mission field and share the gospel. And that mission field is kind of wherever you go. It could be going to school, going to your workplace. And the best thing to have confidence in that is realizing that's your land. And you got to claim that land. And executing that to claim your land takes some confidence. And so here's what the Bible says about confidence. In Numbers 8:11, it says, "And Aaron shall offer the Levites before the Lord for an offering of the children of Israel, that they may execute the service of the Lord." And that verse right there, not confidence isn't said in it, but confidence is exuded in that. And I got a lot of confidence from just reading that verse, that they may execute the service of the Lord. They didn't just do the service of the Lord. They didn't just have the service of the Lord. I don't know what I'm saying. But they executed the service of the Lord. And for me, that's just pretty awesome that they executed it. And when you execute something, you don't just injure it or slow it down. You execute it. You kill it. You end it right there. So the service of the Lord that they had to do, they finished it. They got the job done. And so that gives me confidence, because with our service to the Lord as well, we need to just execute that thing. Get it 100% done. Know that there is nothing missing and that we just did our best in that for the Lord. So the word confidence is shown in 38 verses in the Bible. And there's two main things that it says we can put our confidence in. And the first one is worldly, temporary, unfaithful, and just things that are flawed. And the other one is something that's holy, eternal, faithful, and has no flaws whatsoever. And that second thing is God. And for me, I'm going to put my confidence in God. And that confidence as Christians that we have, that we put in Him, it says that, if we're Christians, that God is our confidence. And it talks about that. And in Proverbs 3:26, it says, "True confidence won't allow us to move." So when we have true confidence that comes from God, and we put that confidence in God, then with that faith and that confidence, we cannot be moved. Because God's confidence beats everything else that we have, that we might put our confidence in. We might put, a lot of people put their confidence in money. That I have enough money that'll help me survive. And then, what happens? You lose your job or something, and then where's that money going? Well, that money's gone now. But when we put our faith in God, nothing can change that, because God's eternal. He's forever. And he's eternal. He's not gonna, because these temporary things that we put our faith in, our time in, our confidence in, they're gonna fail us one way or another. And even if you don't think that they're gonna fail us, well, one day they will. So put your confidence in God. So now that you have that confidence, that true confidence in God, how and why do you need to claim your land? So, too much is given, much is required. And this is kind of taken from the parable of talents in a way. So there's these three guys, and the first guy, basically the Lord of this, he gave him 10 talents and said, go out and try to multiply on that, work with what you got and get some more stuff. Then the second guy, he came and he got 5 talents. And so the said, go out and, make something with this. And then the last guy, he got 1 talent. And same thing, go out and make something with this. And so the first guy came back and he's like, hey, I doubled. I'm kind of paraphrasing here. I'm not sure if it's doubled, but he doubled and got, let's just say 20 talents. And he's like, good job, well done. And he gave him ruler over some cities. Second guy came back, and I think he doubled his talents as well. Said, good job, you're ruler of the city. The third guy came back, was super proud in what he did. And what he did was like, hey, I didn't want to risk the thing that you gave me, so I hid it and put it in a hole. And then the guy took that guy's talent back and gave it to one of the guys who were faithful with it. So when we have something, we can be like, oh, I didn't want to lose it, or to, like, if you do nothing with it, what's the point of having it in the first place? Like, if we do something with what God's given us, yeah, we may fail, we may stumble, but we're humans, we're gonna fail, we're gonna stumble. But God's like, get up, go again, because when we have God, we will be successful with Him. There are times we're gonna fail, but when we're truly in God, then we can be successful in that. So just remember, when you're going to your land, you may fail the first couple of times, and it may seem like you're failing, but remember, God's going to use that for good. So, He gave you the land to share the gospel, but are you going to use that land? I even speak this to myself. Am I going to use that land to share the gospel? And I know I need to, and I hope you guys know you need to as well. So, first off, the fact is, and this is just the best kind of way to think this way, is you're the only one there. You're the only one there that's going to share the gospel, because nobody else is going to do it. This is on you. And when you kind of understand that and put that into perspective, then it's really good. And I hope this is something that motivates you. And it talks about this in Ezekiel 33, 1-9, that just like it's on us. So there's this watchman, and basically like he blows the trumpet when he sees danger coming. And so once he blows the trumpet, the people who don't get out of the city, that's on them. Like, the people don't get out of the city and then they get killed by the sword or whatever. That's on them. But when the watchman sees the danger and doesn't blow the trumpet, whoever dies, that blood is on the watchman's hand. So, basically, like, as Christians, we know what the final punishment is, the eternal punishment, which is hell. And so if we don't say anything about that, we see the danger, then that's on us. Now, it's not said in the Bible that it's on us in heaven. Like, we're not going to get removed from heaven because we don't say anything. But that is good motivation that we should say something, because when we're in heaven and there's the great white throne judgment, and we see our friends that we didn't tell the gospel about, we see them go down, and they just look at us and be like, why didn't you say anything to me? Then that's where it's on us that we're going to just feel that. Now, we're not going to feel that for eternity, because I'm not going to feel pain, but in that moment, you're just going to feel extreme just regret. And I don't want to feel any regret when I'm in heaven. I want to be I don't want to see my friends go down that way, but I also want to be looking at my friends in heaven and be like, I told you, and we can be up here together. I'll be able to, they won't be walking down to hell, they'll be sitting beside me, and I'll be like, remember I told you, and you accepted it, and that was awesome. So I want that to be what I look forward, like one of the things I look forward to. So another thing about confidence and why you need to claim your land, just read the book of Joshua. Like, in the book of Joshua, this is one of the guys at church, how he explained it. It's like they kicked butt and took names. And that is the book of Joshua summed up right there. So they were sent to claim the promised land that God gave them. And God commanded them to kill everyone in that land, to drive out all the inhabitants. And when God commands us to share the good news, that's confidence right there in ourselves. And it says this in Acts 1:8. But ye shall receive power after that the Holy Ghost is come upon you, and ye shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria and unto the uttermost part of the earth. So God commands us to go to all these places, not that specifically. We're not supposed to go to Jerusalem, Judea, and Samaria, but Jerusalem for us is our families. We're supposed to preach to our families, and then so Jerusalem is yourself. You gotta get things right between you and God within yourself before you can go preaching out. And then Judea is your family, and then Samaria is your community, your friends, and all that. And then the fourth one is the rest of the world. So once you are like preaching to your family, then you're preaching to your friends, to your community, to the people in the city, then you can go everywhere else. Because when you're faithful in little, you're faithful in much, like the parable of the talents. Like when you're faithful and preaching to your friends and everybody, then God will be like, all right, I can use you, because I know you're going to be faithful in the big stuff I give you if you're faithful in the little. And then preaching the gospel will come with obstacles, but don't fear them. Because in Numbers 14:9, it talks about Joshua and Caleb, and they see those giants and those cities and stuff, and they didn't fear them as obstacles or opponents, but they saw them as opportunities. And it talks about this in Numbers 14:9, I'm paraphrasing here though, but they said like, don't fear them because they are bread for us. So they're there to win, to harvest, and he just sees them as just food for them, as motivation to, get the job done. And another thing, this one's pretty awesome. We got the best sword in the game. We got the best weapon. We got the ultimate weapon, because Hebrews 4:12 says that the Bible is sharper than any two-edged sword and is dividing unto the soul and separating it of bone and marrow. Paraphrasing that one a little bit, but it's sharper than any two-edged sword. And it's not a real sword, but it is a spiritual sword. So like if you want to help somebody and really, like, they say, oh yeah, this one's going to sink to your soul, man. This one's going to get right to your soul. There's some truth to that, because when you use the Bible, there's some verses that might not do anything with them. Like you're like, oh yeah, John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. Somebody's going to be like, yeah, I've heard that before. But if you share a verse with them that strikes a chord, it's like, we were all sinners, born in sin. We've all come short of the glory of God, and you may not feel worthy, and you're not, but the only one one's worthy is God. They might be like, I've always felt like I was worthy. Nobody told me I wasn't. But God's the true worth. And the Bible's so good. It has so many different points and perspectives, and one of those will get to your friend. So just kind of read your friend out a little bit, like kind of see what's their strengths, their weaknesses, what are they like doing, what are they maybe scared of in a way. And you can use Bible verses in order to encourage them and just show them the love of God. So yeah, just remember that. So another reason we need to be confident is fear spreads and ruins everything. And the only one we should fear is God. So Proverbs 1:7 says, "The fear of God is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction." So confidence in God kills the bad fear. Fear in God is not like, oh, I'm scared, God, if I don't do this, that you're gonna strike me down. But it's like, God, I'm doing this because I love you and I respect you. And when your perspective changes on why you're doing things, your motivation changes on why you're doing stuff, then it's so much joyful in doing that. So just remember, don't be scared of the Lord, but fear the Lord. Like, remember that He is the Almighty One. And then the last thing is the reason that we don't have fear, that we shouldn't have fear, is because it talks about this in 2 Thessalonians, I believe. But for the God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So remember that God doesn't give you that fear. Who gives you that fear? The devil. So God does not give you that fear. And when you have confidence in God, then it's gonna kill that fear, because God is the greatest. He's the greatest. So just remember that next time you're fearful of something, just pray. I mean, that's the first thing you can do, is pray, because that's our greatest weapon right there. That's our greatest thing we can do. So yeah, just remember, next time you're fearing talking to somebody, just pray. So hope you guys enjoy this episode. I'll see you next time. Bye.